Now I would like to welcome Archbishop Jerome Listecki to the podium. We are enormously grateful for his continued leadership at the seminary and the priority he gives to our mission to grow the priesthood. Thank you, Archbishop.
You're welcome. You know, about 50 years ago, some philosophers and scholars were calling for the death of God. Well, that didn't work. So now a lot of secularists are calling for the death of the church. Well, let me tell you, take a look at last night and tonight, and I tell you, that statement and demise is greatly exaggerated. There is nothing that our society needs more, especially at this time, than the church. And what you do here by supporting the seminary is you support that living person of Christ that takes place in persona Christi in the lives of the men who are ordained to serve us. That should give all of us great pride and give all of us tremendous hope for the future. I am so grateful for the two cardinals that are here tonight. It's our special guest, which is James Harvey, native of this seminary. And of course, that former old predecessor of mine, Timothy Cardinal Dolan, and we thank you, Tim, for being with us. You know, of course, Father John Hemsing was trying to claim that it was his prayers and intervention before God that gave us the good weather. But actually, Tim told me he promised God to lose 20 pounds if he would do this tonight. You know, it's wonderful to have the Cardinals in town. Someone asked me, what are we going to do next week after we have two Cardinals in town? Well, I contacted the Philadelphia Eagles. We have a number of bishops here with us tonight, and I want to thank them because they're great supports throughout Wisconsin. But we have another alum who was a bishop, Bishop Joseph Perry, who used to work here. Joseph, would you stand up, please? Bishop Perry is auxiliary bishop to that suburb south of us called Chicago, the Archdiocese of Chicago. I was so grateful I had the opportunity as an auxiliary bishop in Chicago to work with Bishop Perry, and I know what a great gift he was, and that gift really takes place right here at the seminary in terms of his formation and training. So thank you, Joseph, for taking time and spending with us this evening. Last year, I complained to Father Hemsing and told him he was going to be fired if it happened again this year. But the Archbishop of Milwaukee at last year's seminary dinner sat behind the table that had Bishop Morlino from Madison. I looked at the back of his head during the seminary dinner. I said, John, that will not happen ever again. So he was grateful enough to make sure that Bishop Morlino was at my table this evening with the Max. So Bishop Morlino, would you please stand, and we thank you. And we have Bishop Ricken here. Now, Bishop Ricken, would you please stand? I'm going to take a look to see if I can spot you over here. Bishop David Ricken. From Green Bay. One of the aspects of the job of the Archbishop is also to be in contact with the various dioceses of Wisconsin. And I can tell you I have visited both Madison and Green Bay, and they love their bishop. I can also tell you that when we made our ad limina before Benedict XVI, when we walked in, one of the things that we said to Benedict XVI, that as the bishops of Wisconsin, we don't only collaborate with each other, but we like each other. And immediately Benedict XVI applauded that, which is obviously not always true with people that you work with. But I can tell you as Archbishop of Milwaukee, that is true for the bishops of Wisconsin. And I look forward to their continued support. I look forward to their continued support as we tackle some great issues that face us. One of the aspects that all of us as the Archdiocese of Milwaukee should be proud of is our seminary and our seminarians, as well as our new priest. As I go around to the various parishes in the Archdiocese, that's one of the constant themes that emerges. We're so proud of our young priest. We're so proud of our seminary. That doesn't happen without a lot of support. Support from so many of you here this evening, in the tickets that you purchased for the dinner, in the support from the various sponsors. And even this dinner came with great vision. And that vision was, I tell you without hesitancy, John Stolenward, who wanted to push forward having a dinner here outside at the seminary so that you could see this seminary that you support, so that you could get a feel of it, that you could be in its environment, and that you could know what a sacred place it was. I can tell you that statement and that vision was not met with an immediate applause, because everybody said everything about rain, about everything that could happen. Talking about September, and knowing us in Wisconsin, that could even mean snow. But John pushed forward, and it was because of his vision and his tremendous support, and I know with the backing and the patting on the back of Joe Ellen, his wife, that we are enjoying this evening today. And I can tell you without hesitancy that every dollar that came in via your ticket goes directly to the education and formation of our seminarians. Everybody, everything. No, because Father Hemsing and the faculty has done such a great job here at the seminary, we're going to keep them on for another week. John has done a great job, and he followed his predecessor, who was not an easy act to follow, and that's Bishop Don Heine. Bishop Heine is not with us this evening because he's doing a commendation for the funeral of one of our priests in the Archdiocese. But his mark certainly was left on the seminary, as you can see John Hemsing's mark being made in the seminary. And this goes back in terms of a great legacy that this seminary has had in terms of its leadership. And I am blessed that the auxiliary emeritus of this archdiocese, Bishop Richard Skilba, was also not only... Bishop Skilba, are you here? I'm sure you're here. I think so. He was not only a product of this seminary, but also the former rector of this seminary. So you can see the great production and the fruit. And that fruit comes basically from people of faith. That's the way it started in its beginning. That's the way it continues on. This is a great archdiocese because it's an archdiocese built by you on great faith. God bless all of you, and may we continue to grow and flourish as God wants us to.